So it is.
Very good, thank you. Any other comments? Please step forward. And if we could have you all really kind of come up close to the podium, I should have mentioned that earlier so that we make sure that we get you recorded and we need your name
Sure.
as well.
Do you want to pay?
There we go. Yeah, that's fine. You have a.
I'm Susie Milligan and I represent Red Lodge Youth Soccer.
Okay.
And I was here a few months ago and I just wanted to give an update, which I really wanted to say thank you. We've got 125 registered players this season and we're kicking off this week. Spiked snow. An update on the shed. Mike will give more detail, I'm assuming.
Sure.
And we still need to get Luke's input on location, but we identified a shed and a budget. And so we're moving forward. And so I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? No other comments? Going once, going twice, 3 times. Any comments online? Do we have anybody online? They came back, I don't know, some.
Seth is online.
Any comments? Any comments?
This is
online?
Dave just saying, yes, I'm hearing you again. So thanks, Mike, for getting that going again.
Okay, very good. All right. Looks like we're moving along then. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a chairperson's report. That's a kind of a new thing that we have started. Oh, I'm sorry. We got to go back. Thank you, Rod. We got to go back to the approval of the agenda. Do we have an approval of the agenda and the minutes of March 4th?
I second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Okay. Now we'll move to the chairperson's report. I only have 2 things to report on tonight. One is that on March, I believe it was March 10th, at the city council meeting, the city council approved on second reading an ordinance banning or restricting the use of tobacco and tobacco-like projects or products from parks and recreation facilities. And that has been approved and now that becomes law of the city. The second thing I'd like to report on is, let's see, I have a list here. Oh, the city council, I believe at the same meeting also approved a memorandum of understanding with Red Lodge Ice to move forward with a preliminary architectural review of the proposed ice skating facility, ice rink facility. And that's going to cover at least two sites right now. One of them being at Lions Park and the other would be up on Brewery Hill. And that preliminary study will be paid for by the grant, Red Lodge Ice. And I'm not sure what the timeline is on that, but I think there'll be more information on that as we move along. So any questions about those 2 items? Okay.
We also didn't approve the minutes. We need to approve the minutes from last month.
He said agenda and minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear
Yeah.
you say minutes. Okay, got it. All right.
that's right. Keep me on my toes here.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the O'Neill Trail Project. And Nick, I think you were going to give us a summary.
Yeah, my
Right
name's
on
Nick
there.
Eddy. Again, I'm here on behalf of Beartooth Trails. And just want to kind of give the Parks Board where we're at. I want to be clear that I am not a representative of the city of Red Lodge, so just Beartooth Trails. So I just want to, I guess I was going to start with the timeline. So in late 2025, Greg O'Neill, who's the landowner, mentioned his interest in donating a portion of his property to either Beartooth Trails or the city of Red Lodge for the purpose of building a trail from the airport loop trail down to a section of city property that's zoned as a park on 8th Street and Nutting Avenue. Mayor Westwood and I met with Greg and then afterwards decided that the land should be donated to the city and zoned as a park and not to Beartooth Trails. And so, I guess the next thing I want to talk about is I think that this is a great proposal for Red Lodge. The trail would provide really good connectivity from the West Bench to Red Lodge. Currently the only trails that we have are the McGillen Trail, which is at 15th Street in McGillen, and then also the wellness trail at the hospital. So they're both good trails. However, they just are kind of adjacent to like the central business district of Red Lodge. So this trail would have a lot more direct access to downtown. The lower terminus of the trail is 2 blocks away from the grocery store. It's 2 blocks away from Lions Park. It's 2 blocks away from Field School Park. So it has a lot of good connectivity there. And then the land donation is also well suited for a trail due to its proximity to the airport loop trail, which is currently it's less than 15 feet from where the land that is proposed to be donated starts. So it's literally right next door to it, which is really nice. And the connection to the airport loop would also extend the trail connectivity to the Highway 78 trail. So you can go up this trail around the airport loop and then all the way up to Willow Creek if you would like, which is really cool. And then the fact that the lower terminus is also at a park is very convenient. And I just wanted to talk real quickly about some of these past city documents that are out there that highlight the importance of this trail. It's been well documented. The first one is the 2006 City of Red Lodge Comprehensive Trails Plan. This was the plan's #1 trail priority as voted by the public. It lists the historic downtown trails, specifically working with private landowners to finalize the location for a segment that descends from the West Bench to the city near Brewery Hill is its highest priority. So, it's well stated there. The trails plan also says that one of the greatest challenges to developing a trail system for Red Lodge is the need to acquire and locate trails on public lands. So, I've contacted every single landowner on the West Bench, and no one else is willing to allow for a trail to be built there. We've tried with the state of Montana and have not yet been successful. So this is really a serendipitous donation. I think it'd be really advantageous. And then also the land donation solves the main challenge to the trail donation, that it achieves this priority because of the donation. It is also in the 2015 Comprehensive Parks Plan, where public feedback said that 30% of respondents said that acquiring new lands for future parks was ranked as very important, and 55% of respondents said that connecting parks with trails is very important. So, and walking for pleasure was named as the most popular activity by survey respondents, which highlights the need for more trails and more connectivity. And then also the 2025 growth plan also has it in there. Says, to quote, moving forward, the city should continue to seek funding for the maintenance of existing trails and explore opportunities for trail easements to build a more connected trail system between the city and county, fostering a more walkable community. And finally, it is also in the 2016 Active Transportation Plan, which lists this trail as a priority, to quote, a recreational trail from the West Bench to downtown. And public comments said people cited difficulty accessing the airport loop from the valley. So I think it's, that it's well documented there. It's also worth noting that the acquisition of this land or the donation is, for the express building of a trail. So it's not a donation that is available for the city to just have. It is for the purpose of building a trail on. And so our Beartooth Trails involvement is we're basically just interested in building the trail, so and maintaining it in the future. So, and then that. So yeah, I guess Beartooth Trails is seeking a positive recommendation from the Parks Board for City Council to accept the land donation and the trail construction. And then also just to slide this in, I mentioned the 2006 Comprehensive Trails Plan. We have some money in the tourism grant to update that. So we'll need to work with Parks Board on that as well. So we can get a new updated trails plan that's accurate, not so old. Yeah.
Any questions from the board? No questions?
Not at this time.
Okay. Any questions from the public room here? Any comments? Yes, sir. Steve, come on up.
Yeah, Steve Wrights, 215 Nutting. I've been a part of this community for over 50 years. And I've lived at 215 Nutting for the past 24 years. And that particular parcel adjoins the small city parcel at the bottom of this trail proposal. I would like to read the mission statement of the Parks Board. The mission of the Red Lodge Parks, Trees and Recreation Board is to protect, enhance and maintain parks, facilities, natural resources, open space, trails and plants by developing and executing a parks plan, trail plan and urban forestry plan. And that's what I'm proposing tonight on that small parcel of ground that the city owns, is executing a plan for how that trail is going to come down off of Mr. O'Neill's property. I feel that there are a couple of different ways that would be, that would enhance the hikers experience. And I think there's a way to build the trail on that property without degradation of that particular hillside.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments from the room regarding this issue? Come on up, Jeff.
I'm Jeff Sheets. I live at 211 Nutting. So this proposed trail is right behind our house. There's 3 houses there on Nutting Row or Nutting Street, whatever you want to call that. So the concerns that I have are things that have not been addressed and we don't know about. We heard about this trail. You don't know how wide it's going to be. We don't know if it's going to be just for hikers or pedestrians. Are bicycles going to be allowed on this trail? Where it comes down, it's right next to one of the houses, like Wooly mentioned. It comes within 10 feet of his backyard. So I think the concern is how they are laying that trail out. I think there's, as Wooly mentioned, there's probably some better ways to keep it away from the backyard of our houses. Another concern that we have is the noise, and this is something that the other day there were some people up there. I don't know if they're from the trail side here or not, but they were halfway up the trail. And I was in the front yard of our house and I thought someone was in our backyard. It's like an amphitheater. So any noise when people are up there talking or walking, it just filters right down. We hear them as plain as day. So I think that has to be something that's considered. Also, I think you also received a letter from Dr. Lyman, Jennifer Lyman, about the degradation of that hill. It is, there's no bill, as you know, has been no building allowed on that because of how wet it is. 2 years ago, we had water in our basement all the time because there's springs up there. And so the concern is if you are putting a trail and I don't know how wide the trail is going to be. It's going to be 2 feet, 4 feet, and be cutting that, dashing into that hill. That's going to change some of the drainage. And the concern is that some of that's going to drop down. And lumping does occur in a lot of places just because we've changed the way that water flows. So that's another concern. Then one thing finally is that people come there to drive. If they want to park, where are they going to park their cars? Nutting Street, which is in the front of our house, is basically an alleyway. And if they come there to park their car to hike up that trail, there's no room for that. If they park, there's no room for us to park our cars in front of our houses. So that's just some concerns that we have there that need to be addressed. And before moving on, I think it needs to be described to us exactly the use, the size, the structure, see maps as far as, how this trail is designed. I think a lot of preliminary work that hasn't been done and people are moving forward thinking it's a done deal. But I think we would like to see some of those issues addressed.
Yeah.
And thank you.
All right, thank you.
No.
Any other comments?
My name is Jennifer Lyman and I live on the 8th Street where people will be congregating and parking. And I wrote a letter that sort of, as an ecologist, I wrote a letter suggesting that this trail you're going much too fast. It's already marked. There is just amateur trail builder, no professional or geotechnical approach to looking at how that trail is not going to be erosive. The 3 of us, Pam and Paula and I, are all gardeners, and our husbands help us garden in the backyard. in our backyards, which we enjoy, where it's very quiet and we watch birds and we have our families out in the backyard. But having a trail come right down into our houses is sort of the antithesis of why we picked the historic district of that area to spend our retired lives. And I'm really disappointed that Greg, who's getting the trail named after him, is making sure that that trail does not come down next to his house. There's a really perfect road right where his property is, and even has a gate so you can just go up there. But he certainly doesn't want it there. So he has made sure by his land exchange that it comes over to us. And I think one of the things I'll say is tomorrow is Maundy Thursday. That's the day that Jesus washed the feet of his disciples and gave a mandate, which is what Maundy means, to his people to say you are to serve others and be neighbors to others and to help others. And this kind of just shifting from Greg's property so he is not disturbed over to us is just the antithesis of what Maundy Thursday is about. And I just feel that, as neighbors in this kind of troubling time when we're all neighbors, we help each other. All of us give to the community, the food bank, we're all doing Kids Corner, we're all working to make the pickleball and tennis courts look really fine. And it just seems like we have had no information, no conversation, no communication from the trails crew who have already marked the trail. It's already in place, and it's just an insult and kind of, for Maundy Thursday, it's a betrayal. And it's just discouraging in my view. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the room?
Okay, I got a response.
Okay, please come forward.
I gotta maintain my composure here because I've been viciously assaulted by some people here concerning.
Can you state your name, please?
I'm trying. Address. Oh, I'm James Howe. I live at 10th and Adams in 2017. The West Bench is my backyard. I love the West Bench. I wish I owned it. I'd build a trail right out of my backyard, but it's actually not a good place to build a trail. The most suitable place for a trail I have seen on the West Bench is above 8th Street. Not 9th Street where there's a big slump. Not 10th Street at my house where there's a big slump. Not at 7th Street where there's a river. Not 9th Street where there's a river. The driest place on that hillside and the most moderate slope is above 8th Street. Now, I think I have become the face of this trail because I have spent weeks up there with the permission of Beartooth Trails, with the permission of the property owner, with the permission of the mayor, to do some preliminary engineering so we can make fact-based decisions. I surveyed the hillside to find out what the actual elevation difference is, what kind of grades we're looking at. I surveyed out a prospective trail to keep the slope of that trail reasonable and usable for people of all ages. So I call the trail's really in 4 sections. There's the Nutting to Adams piece with the adjacent triangle owned by the city. Needs to be some way to get up the embankment to the west of Adams, which most likely consists of building a bridge or a ramp. Because there's some beautiful mint growing there. Paula's mint. And I don't want it, it's great mint, I do not want to disturb that mint. With appropriate ramp or bridge, I disturb that mint. So, but that's not my field of expertise, I'm not a structural engineer. I have 50 years' experience in education, professional, and volunteer work in the field of civil engineering. Particularly soils engineering. I'm not a novice.
Can you wrap it up, please? We're at 3-minute mark.
Yeah, I realize that.
Okay.
But I'm trying to defend what's going on.
Okay.
So I have the upper part, I laid out a slope 700 feet long, that's 10% grade, 9.9 actually. The lower portion between that post above the Woolies property down to the top of the bridge, I put in 2 9-foot radius curves that work out to an average percent grade of 11%. I worked out a plan to get through that triangle area to keep the whole trail off of 8th Street, not onto the right of way, but in the park,
Okay.
utilizing a 14-foot radius curve and a 12-foot radius curve that comes up through the invasive species of the honeysuckle bush and would cut up to Adams Street. So I've done my research,
Okay.
and that's what I provided to Beartooth Trails into the city.
Well, thank you. Any other
Thank you, James.
comments? Good.
Just to let James know that mint is a sign of full service water.
Okay.
So that saving the mint is
We need, if we're having a public comment, we need to have you come up so that we can record comments.
My name's Tom Lyman. I live at the junction of Northward and 8th Street, right below the proposed thing. I have to disagree. The slope is much steeper than we have just been told. And it's also very, it would be very difficult to build a trail there without moving a lot of dirt, a lot of rock, and exposing that slope to further sliding with heavy rains and that sort of thing. The other problem is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 houses right there in the backyard where this trail should come down. Now, there is already a road belongs to the city that goes right up to the bottom of that slope. It happens to go down by the O'Neill's property. It's a road, I mean, a big road. Presumably it was built for fire trucks and so on. That could possibly be used. But the coming down through the neighborhood is going right through properties that are too close together anyway. And you have the problem of parking and so on. There's really no place to park there. So I am, along with several other people in the community, opposed to that proposal for that bicycle path or whatever they're going to use it for. It's just not a good spot. And I don't care what people have said. I've been up there myself, and it's a lot steeper and a lot less solid, I guess, what I would say. If you cut a trail through there, there's gonna be a lot of problems with water and sliding of material. It's just not a good place for the trail, period. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any other comments from the room? Any more comments? Okay, please come forward.
All right, because I live at 215 Nutting. And my issue with the trail is the ending of it. And I wish I had a schematic of it, but it's a triangle. And 8th Street comes up and then it's an abandoned road to the top of the trail, the hills here. And they want to bring the O'Neill wants to have the trail come down Eighth Street. And I don't see how his privacy would be effective if the trail came off the hill, went around the bushes, there's wild plums in there. Not out to the end of the triangle where Mr. O'Neill is, but comes around and then comes down Eighth Street, coming down the hill beside where we live would just be so unsightly and a big, I mean, it's not our property, but our privacy is severely impacted by the proposal that Mr. O'Neill wants.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more comments from the room? Comments online? Do we have any comments online on this topic? Once, going twice, 3 times. Yeah. Any comments from the board?
Well, you know, I have something to say.
Okay.
I think there's lots of good parking. If no one's been to Nutting and Eighth, it's gonna be a problem if people decide they're gonna be their trailhead. So something has to be devised that makes sure that no one thinks ever that this is a trailhead. This is just a walk to town. And you're not gonna park there because I was there yesterday twice looking at this property and there's nowhere to park. So that would be discourteous of us to do anything less than that. Okay. I thought Jennifer's letter was something that we need to look into, or Beartooth Trails needs to look into professionally. There is a lot of water up there. And I don't think we should, I don't know how can we, I mean, what am I trying to say? They've gone ahead and flagged it, but is it within the Parks Board purview to say, don't do anything else until we get a few more questions answered? I don't know. Right, get a geotech review up there.
Well, Nick said that the property has not been officially donated, is that correct? I mean, the city hasn't accepted it, so this is all still
Doing it with permission.
preliminary.
Okay, so there's really nothing to do, but you flag it, because since you don't just have it, there's nothing else really
Right.
you should do or can do.
Yeah, I would try to do the geotechnical engineer at the mine. I was gonna look at it with him and look at Valleywood in Forest Service.
There was something else, but, the path, it's ridiculous to come by their house. Talk about disrespectful to, I was up there yesterday twice, as you know, and there's a way to go another way up the trail and not go by, Willie and Paula's house, and that's,
You talking the lower section?
right by the road. And, as far as the knowledge, the noise, like Mr. Sheep said, I don't think there's anything we can do about that.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. But, also, I've always thought 12th Street is the best way to the top of the hill. My dog and I walk it all the time, and I am not a great hiker anymore, but we just go up, it's dry. And it's, city easement up. There's only two houses, and if anyone doesn't know that street, it's actually 10th Street. It comes down between Doug Brown Field and the post office. So it dumps you right into town. And I don't know if that's still out of the question, but the city owns a lot of that land. It's dry. Leo and I walk it all the time, and it's easy. If I can get up there, anyone can get up there.
It's
So-
not, and the middle of that is not city-owned property. That lot, at last knowledge, the better half of that lot you're talking about is owned by Betsy Scanlon.
Well, Betsy's in this room, so maybe she'll consider it. Anyway.
Just know, all of us who walk that are trespassing every time we trudge up that hill, but yes.
Okay,
It
I'm
is a good
sorry.
pathway.
It's just dry, it's dry.
Betsy, would you like to come forward?
Sorry, Betsy. I didn't know you owned it.
My name's Betsy Scanlon.
401 Road.
I don't really have a dog in the fight here.
But I will say that I understood that Nick said that property owners on that bench were contacted. And no, we were never, and we own 2 half-city blocks in that area. We were not contacted for that. We'd be happy to have a trail going up. And so if there is a way to connect, 10th Street, I'm not sure what that is, but should be looked into and see if that would be a more appropriate way and still have access to the trail that they're wanting to link with. Because I think we all are interested in having some links up there. I don't think that's the issue. I think perhaps one that's less intrusive, that could perform the same purpose, would have more parking on Adams, should be looked into. And if it affects our property, we would be glad to gift the city of Red Lodge the 2 half-city blocks we have up there for park purposes. And we've offered that before, and not necessarily to this group, but that offer is out there. So if that's a possibility, please consider it. Thank you, Betsy.
Just, so you're talking about your property on the hillside she's talking about? Above 12?
No, it's not 12, it's gonna be above. It's between 12. It's between 12 and 10.
Yeah.
I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Just to clarify, I want to make sure I know
And
exactly.
that is accessed from Adams. What is the street that would access Adams?
Yeah.
There's only 2 houses.
What street is it? Yeah.
Aren't this above Adams there? See.
There's 12 street there, you got Brownfield. Yeah. I'm guessing they're talking.
Access, right? I mean, there's like these houses.
Driving too.
And this, well, and Adams. So if you go north.
Where would the access from Adams Street to that property be?
Oh, there's.
Right there?
I don't believe 10th has been closed. No, wait a minute, the numbers are getting bigger. We go up, Mike. Anyway, so these are our 2. I'm on 11, I live on 11th. Okay. This is the old cedarwood. Okay, so this is 12.
Thank you, Beth.
Drop it on right, please.
Yeah, go north. There we go.
There we go.
Still a true value, I think.
Yeah, that's 10th right there. Oh,
Yeah. So 10th would be the access to the Scanlon property? Is that correct?
I believe 10th has remained open. It did not get closed, so that.
It looks like
It's
there's.
a view that's possible. Can you go on, please? Which,
Sort of temperature, that's then properties.
Yeah.
And then you got.
What is that right there?
tennis courts are where we are.
Little spots right here.
She wants to go south.
Yes, south. Scanlon properties right there. So you don't. There's no down as well. Another 12. Sure, they're obviously just go through someone else's property too.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, walk through. They must walk through right there.
This house and this house, which I think are part-time owners from Minnesota. And we walk up here, it's dry, the city owns till about here, maybe, Betsy? It was.
That's private right there. This lot is.
But anyway, to the church. And not, that people can park downtown and walk up this street.
Is that?
That's 12th.
That's 12th Street. It's kind of an extension of 12th Street. Is that still a right of way, city right of way? No right of way.
There might not be a right of way, but Otto Seidenberg owns that ground. Or for those houses, and I would suggest contacting him because I think he would work with the city to allow people to come.
And people are going.
Yeah,
And can I just say that there's power lines overhead there, and so there's probably an electrical easement that already exists there. It's catty corner from my house, and we walk it or look at it quite a bit. And I didn't mean to poke the bear or provoke anything, Betsy, by offering, but I do appreciate your willingness to talk about it because it's a beautiful spot for a trail. So,
Did you identify yourself?
yeah, it's Melissa Griffiths.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm just traveling, so sorry.
Okay.
Thanks, Melissa. It's helpful.
Okay.
Betsy, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry. I didn't know you. Sorry.
I really got something.
You may, yes.
So one of the things about the drainage there, a few years ago, we had our retaining wall in the backyard that comes down the hill there completely fell forward. We had to have the D-Rock boys come in and excavate it all out because of the drainage and the wetness. And we had to put in a whole rock retaining wall just to, again, emphasize how wet it is there.
Okay. Any other comments from the board?
I think I'm done on this topic.
Ready for the next one.
Did you have a time frame, Nick, that you wanted to get this all accomplished by?
About this summer would be wonderful, you know.
Seth Decker wants to talk. Who does? Seth, go ahead.
I just have a question. So we are at 601 South White, and I know behind us, there's the electrical easement, but I'm looking at the 12th Street right there. Is that an alley? Because behind us, it's actually at one point the city had an alley slated for back behind our house too, on the bench. So I wasn't sure if that's an alley between those two big parcels right there, running north to south.
Right away that ran through there for 12. When the town was originally platted, and then the reason that in 23 there, I don't know if you can see that. That right of way was abandoned at some point, so the adjacent landowners got half of the right of way. So there is no public access up that way. Is that what you're saying? The public access is where the cursor is wiggling right there. Right. That's the old right of way that's still intact. Here's the right of way that's still intact. This section, it looks like at some point in history was abandoned by the city, and then the adjacent landowners absorbed half. Okay. Right. Any other comments? Well, it looks like we have an alternative. Nick, not to put you on the spot, because I know you can't really off the cuff, speak for the organization, but do you think the, Beartooth Trails is interested in looking at other options?
Yeah, we'd be happy to look at other options. I personally don't see an option there. I mean, I think we just kick the can to someone else's backyard, but yeah, I mean, and it's also, again, like my concern isn't necessarily with properties with trail construction, and I think when you look at the grades, not slope angle, but grade of the trail, it would be very difficult to build a trail in a really narrow space like that because it just makes for a steep grade, not a good trail grade.
Yeah, Betsy.
Would you also
But please come up
consider
here.
looking at 10th Street, because I don't think that was closed. The 10th Street, I think, is still, if you want to look up the north.
10th right there.
That is city owned, and that could also be a potential one without having to have private landowners involved.
Again, the vegetation and also it's just, you can't build a trail.
It doesn't really matter. It's extremely wet. All wet, on both sides.
Yeah. Quick point on this 10th Street option. If we could go up straight up 10th, maybe, my concern as a soils guy is at the top of the slope immediately to the north of the right of way is the biggest slump that's occurred on the hillside. And the angle of repose at the top of that slope is 38 degrees. You can't climb up 38 degrees. Maybe Nick could, but just not mere mortals. So I'd be happy to go up there and look at that. That'd be cool.
That's your house. That's what you
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah, I'm happy to look at it to see if it's possible, but that 38-degree slope right next to it, that scares me. I'm not that scared of water, but
Those are 1 foot contour lines on there.
if I have the permission of the city, I will look at it. But actually not until July, because I'm leaving town.
It's big size anyways.
Oh, boy.
All right, well, we have a request from Beartooth Trails for the board to make a recommendation regarding the donation of the O'Neill property for the purpose of building a trail that would be off Nutting, 8th and Nutting. That would be a recommendation that either the board can either approve that recommendation, make the recommendation, or not make the recommendation. The final say is going to be with the city council. All we can do is make a recommendation. It appears that we have some other maybe 1 or 2 possibilities that could be explored. Whether they're suitable for that type of a project, I don't think we can, make that just, ascertain that right now. It'd probably take, obviously, a site view to take a look at it, but do we have anybody that would anybody like to make a motion on the board?
Well,
I think we need more information to sit on this for a bit.
vote for it. Well, there's so many things that are out there that concern me. Mainly is the soil, the hill, the slope. The water.
I think it'd be appropriate to put on the next agenda. Maybe we can get to the point and vote on something next time, and Beartooth Trails, we can see about just getting more information.
So, can it be clear what you guys are looking for, like specifically what you would like to see?
I'd like to see 12th and 10th looked at, see if those are possible. And I'd like to know if it's really a possibility to enter the one up off Nutting, but at the end of the road, as the neighbor suggested, if that's a possibility.
So that, that's city business, not.
Yeah.
Like I can't reach out to a landowner, because they could, but, there's no right of way there. And then, if the city would like to adjudicate what happens at the pocket park, that's great, there's not. Beartooth Trails.
Yeah, Nick, I think we just need, all right, so what's the trail plan? Like, how wide, what aggregate's going on it? Just general, a lot of stuff we already know.
Yeah, Roger and I talked yesterday, we decided not to do that at this meeting, so.
Yeah.
They could have presented that, but.
No, I think this was good, just kind of, got the intro in there, the concepts out there, the location. I know there's gonna be more conversations with Greg before our next meeting also. So seeing if he's amenable to that lower portion being modified. Cause it might be a showstopper for him if that lower portion is as the rest of everyone else wants it, basically. But I don't know, that's gotta happen. And then the geotech guy, I think I can see as a if I'm living below that slope and with how loose it is and wet it is, and just thinking about it's just got to be boulders in there. And I'm on Beartooth Trails board too, by the way, so I'd love to have the trip, but I'm just trying to step out of that and just think about what that would be like to know that hillside during the building process is going to be disturbed, and so I think. Unlike building trails elsewhere, we're just gonna be very cognizant of the safety of the people below that as it's being built. Cause it'll probably be a machine built trail. But machines are tiny. We build trails in the mountain that are 2 feet wide with machines. You know, they can be. No, that usually helps build the trail itself. You bench cut in and it becomes part of the trail and then it goes to the ends. Generally for the machine to turn around on, which also helps the trail itself because it makes it so that everybody gets down the trail and you're not trying to in the most dangerous spot, trying to squeeze past people and dogs, etc. You've essentially got little safe zones for people to turn and maneuver and change. Yeah, exactly. I think that those are great questions. Those are fantastic questions. And obviously the wider the trail gets, the bigger those bench cuts get. Anyhow, so I just think there's a little more work needs to be done. And I think the next meeting we should put it on there. And if we can get enough knowledge and we can vote on it.
Yeah, my feeling is with the existing trail, the existing site is that I would like to see it, the lower portion of the trail directed a little away from Rich's property and try to provide a maximum amount of mitigation for their privacy that we could do. But it appears to me that maybe we need more information before we make a formal decision on this and maybe an assessment of the other 2 sites as well.
I think it's got to be clear also, there's essentially 2 trails being built here that are going to be put together. There's a city property trail through that park, right, next to Woolies, and then there's the trail on Greg O'Neill's property, which is
donated.
Yeah, that's his property, right? At this point, he wants a trail built on it. And those 2 will obviously connect and will be built by Beartooth Trails if they get built. Just so everyone's totally clear on how this works.
So do you have a motion one way or the other? Do we want to delay this for the May meeting and hopefully we'll have some more information. We can talk in more detail about the specifics of the trail, the width, and look at some other options as well.
Was it on the agenda to vote on? I mean, can it be
No,
tabled or is that too formal?
No, it can be tabled till the next month. But the request was from the Beartooth Trails to make a recommendation regarding the donation of the property and the construction of the trail. To accept the donation of the property for that purpose.
2026 meeting.
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
All's in favor? Say aye. Yeah.
Discover, explore the other ideas. And I don't know if Mr. Seidenberg from Minnesota, I don't know if do you know how to get hold of him, Willie?
Yeah, I guys.
Well, I think we could meet I think Melissa brought up a couple problems. I can't remember what she said, electric maybe, but just go look at it, you know?
Well, we can look at the other 2 sites and maybe we can also
You gotta have a month, you got plenty of time to just
and maybe contact the O'Neills too, to talk about maybe the realignment of that lower part of that
I
trail.
don't think it's I think it is within the realm of possibility that he will change his mind if we really want that trail to go further south. And not by Willie and Paula's house.
To the north.
To the north.
Yeah, to the north.
Yeah. We're really messing up too.
Right, we know what you're talking about.
So maybe the beach.
Is that it? What?
Anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think maybe Mary Dale brought up a good idea. I think maybe the board ought to take it upon themselves. I mean, we can meet and take a look at that site in between.
That'd be great.
Take a look at all 3 sites. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to advertise. Yes, sir.
That's the triangle with the 2 curves I described. And I think did I also put it with a marker above Adam Street?
You did. Yeah.
That's the 2 curves I described there. Just above the slope.
Okay.
As opposed to, I'm not sure which version it is, but.
Right.
And this is a bigger picture. And all the little lines are 5-foot contour intervals.
Okay. All right.
No,
very good.
That's your.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
Okay. On to the next agenda item.
As a group of board meet and look at these properties, I think we should invite Betsy Scanlon and Gabby at least.
Okay,
Before the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay, that's, yeah.
then I'll and make an announcement of that. We'll schedule that.
What do you think, Nick? That'd be helpful. Okay.
Good. All right. Move on. The next item on the agenda is park projects update.
Gonna be tabled until we're in.
It's gonna be tabled, yes. Sorry about that, yes. And in the meantime, we're going to advertise a meeting for the Parks Board to meet and to look at the 3 sites.
Thank you. Yeah, I can hear you. They're over it.
Okay, I guess they are.
That's fine.
All right, next agenda item.
Yeah.
Mike, go ahead.
Before I get into my update, I just want to tell you guys or whoever else has been on this trail stuff, wherever we want to look, whatever, Public Works does have a survey level GPS.
That's right, yeah.
Just accurate, in elevation and points, so if you have something staked out and you'd like it shot, then it can be overlaid on a photo for looking at, and we could also determine very accurately what the grades are and stuff like that. So if it's something you want, it's available, just get over.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. Thank you.
That's all I have. And then the other part of my report for you was, we didn't get those signs ordered for courthouse. So
good.
It's great.
All right, so I'm gonna start with Field School Park. I spoke with Jeff today about the cracks that were discussed in the last park board meeting. He's working with the contractor. The cracks are fairly normal, probably a little more pronounced this year, given our non-typical winter or lack of winter. And also the age of the asphalt. Once temperatures at night get above 50, the contractor will return and fill the cracks. This will be an annual thing, and for the first 3 years, the pickleboard folks have paid for it with the maintenance plan. After that, we'll just include it in the parks budget as annual maintenance, and right now, the current cost is about $1,000 a year to have them come do that. Anything else I need to add to that?
Yeah.
Okay, so, the other thing in Field School Park, Susie Milligan, asked if, they could have kindergarten soccer down there. When I reached out to the office about that, it didn't fall within their MOU or whatever, so I believe Mayor Westwood is looking into that process and making it so that that can happen, and then any liability issues will be addressed with whatever. So that's in the works. Okay.
Good.
Thank you. We might not need it anymore. I did some schedule changes, so I might not need it, so I can update you.
Perfect.
Okay. Thanks, though.
Makes it easier.
Jumping to Coal Mine Park. Quite a bit happening up there right now. I think the last time I spoke about the 10 children. Street project that might go up there and starts wrong. Let me just go over there. I'm gonna show you real quick. Yeah, you can't make that screen bigger. I'm sorry. I don't know how to do that. But we're doing an EDA street project starting April 13th. It's to pave 14 blocks in town, new curb and gutter. The bids came under bid. We were trying to work with EDA to expand the project because we're not utilizing all the grant funds with the low bid. The good news is they've come around. Those negotiations are going very positive right now. So I think we're gonna be able to expand it. If we do, we're gonna put curb gutter in. Place best. So, you know, this is the turn of the school right here. I don't know if people can see that cursor. But we're gonna do curb gutter all the way up to the baseball fields and then around the circle and back. So that'd be a big improvement for the park, and it would be full section asphalt.
And that'll be all the way around the circle with the curbing.
And it would probably be a lay down curb on the east side. I haven't seen the drawings yet, but that's what we discussed, so that it would be like a valley gutter.
Right.
So that it would funnel water. So that's hopefully keep your fingers crossed, but that would be a great thing to have that up there.
And if that does happen, when would it happen?
I don't know.
Okay.
It would be part of this project, which is starting. We have our pre-construction meeting next week, and at that point, that's when they'll talk scheduling and stuff and look at that.
Okay.
So, the other thing that's going on up there, oops, I gotta turn on some stuff. So, right now, I don't know if you guys can see this, there's a stormwater manhole right there. And Cooper and First, even though my map says that's second, it's actually first.
Okay.
This is the main big stormwater that was installed in 2022. It's a 6-foot diameter pipe that goes down, and the outfall is down past the recycling center. Next week, Public Works crew is gonna start laying a stormwater pipe across the back of the ball fields up the hill. And see if I can get my map to move. And we're gonna put a stormwater inlet there. And then hopefully do some grading out there and try and get all that water that typically leaks up out there out of there. So that's kind of exciting.
That's good news, Mike.
That's very exciting.
And
That's all.
the other thing that, as soon as we get done with that, we've added some more dirt to this area and contoured it and brought it up. And that was in an effort to keep that water from flowing into the wildlife sanctuary, which was literally a river through there when the snow melted.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So envisioning this as being something nice and not dirt or weeds, we're gonna bring a shallow water line for seasonal irrigation up from the pump at the ball fields and put in a small sprinkler system in here so that we can get grass growing in there and have those memorial things back. We did get the cart from the cedar wood before they tore down, and that could be used somewhere up in Coleman for too. So hopefully that'll happen immediately after we get that storm line in. I got a request from BRTA to add a children's pump track to the existing pump track. Luke can probably talk more about that.
Yeah, do you want me to?
Yeah, if you describe.
Yeah, so there's just the pump track we built takes up maybe a half of the footprint that was allowed for that pump track. And just based on requests from city residents, in general, they feel like the pump track we built is too advanced for a lot of little ones that go up there. And so they've asked that we just add a very small, like a Strider bike toddler, I don't know, under the age of 8 pump track on the south side, right along the road, which is still in the footprint that the city agreed we can work with, that 80 by 100. And it would just be like 1 foot rollers with like a little teeny berm so that they could do stuff and keep them separate from the kids that are maybe more aggressive riding the other ones. And you know, the grandparents and moms and dads can still sit in a central spot and watch all this happening. So the request is we just need dirt. Really, it's already graded, ready to go. We just need dirt and then we'll make it happen.
And that was the next thing on my thing. You guys also requested some dirt, and that dirt that we just moved. Did you ever look at that?
I looked at it. It's sitting right there.
Big pile there over, and we screened it in the fall.
It's in the parking lot right now?
Yeah, well, there's a little bit left.
Okay.
So hold on, but we stashed that, so that'll be available. I think it's fairly very similar way, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we just had basically the stuff that came out of the ground and then we filtered it.
Yeah, it'll be the same stuff, so that is available to guys.
Oh, how much do you have? Okay, where's it at currently? We just basically. Okay, all right, we'll coordinate on that. Thanks, Mike.
Anything is the porta potty for the soccer been delivered today. I have spoken with Susie about the shed up there, and I believe she found one. And I would like to use half of the money that it cost. They're gonna put up half the money and the parks project money, I think I'd like to use for the other half. It's a 10 by 12 shed, so it doesn't violate any of our ordinance issues. We can go out, which I can't remember exactly, either 180 or 200. Is what we can go up to. This is only 120, so we're good. And if it's ready to go, so if you guys have your half ready, we can get it. Or whatever.
Is that gonna be on a permanent?
It'll be
on the kids.
Shed, that's how
It's a temporary shed.
That's why it has to be under that square footage. We'll probably get together with probably pump track people, whatever, other stakeholders up there, frisbee golf, kind of have a little walk around, decide with soccer where we want it, so everybody's happy. And then if we need to make just a little pad, we'll make a little pad for it. Did go up there last week, and before we hauled all that dirt off, we just filled some of the low spots up there on top. It's more like windy roaded, some vegetation, and we're gonna throw some seed at it and see if after we got it leveled and see if we can get something to grow there. We did also distribute most all of the chips for the frisbee golf people. We got them to their basket sites. And the last thing is, and this one's not great news in a lot of people's minds, but it's highly likely that that parking area in coal miners, kind of where that storm drain is going to be, right down here, will be used as it has in the past for the laydown yard for this street project. So there'll be equipment stored up there. It's really the only place we have. So
good little entrance into the park.
Yeah. So that's coal miners. One of the issues that's been coming up a lot in things has been weeds. I did sit down with our weed spraying contractor again, the county weed coordinator, and I looked at what we do in the city city Red Lodge right now. And the green areas, we spray a lot down at the lagoons, mainly because we pretty much have to just do a discharge and weed seed and stuff like that. And we currently spray ornamental and turf in Lions Park, Field Park. We currently spray the Rodeo Park parking area with kind of a noxious weed spray. It's called Duracor. And we currently spray around the public workshop and water site. The blue areas are areas that I am trying to add this year to our weed spraying effort, and it would be Van Dyke Park. I'm going to just go through all the ones that I'm adding and see if you guys have any additions. And I'll say this out front, I just identified this whole area. I met with the county weed coordinator. He was very optimistic that they could help us in different ways. And one of the first ways is he's going to go out and kind of evaluate these sites too, and look at, what they need and everything. But I did this just to get a quote from our contractor. We included spraying the trails, and it would be roughly 10 feet on each side from the center line of the trail. and it would be for noxious weeds. They looked at spraying that parcel where the tanks are and the trails. So spraying that trail. This parcel here that the city has, it's got some being next to the highway susceptible to weeds. The dog park I included for noxious weeds, the trail all the way up. And I included, let me go back south. I included, we currently put ornamental turf on Finn Park too. But I included doing some spraying in Rotary just because it gets a lot of traffic cars in there, especially from foreign lands that have weed seed. And then at coal miners, what I did up here, I kind of broke this out. And at one time in the past, according to our contractor, periodically they would spray the ball field with ornamental and turf. Looking at probably just doing this field doesn't get used very much. This area is pretty weedy right now, so that would get sprayed. The area in where it's all gravel, we have quite a bunch of vegetation jumping up. So we discussed spraying the bare ground chemical on that one, just keep happening. Up here, we would do ornamental and turf on the soccer field, and then just something for knapweed and stuff up here. And then those trails too as well, and along that road that goes into the, we call it the road to nowhere, but I think it's called Beartooth Road.
Nick called it Beartooth Lane, he's requesting a chain there, I think, yeah.
And I did talk to the contractor about some of the parcels that are up here. And if I say this out loud, the ARCS ones that we have.
Yeah.
And currently they are getting sprayed by him through the golf course.
Oh, okay.
So I would like that to stay that way. But, so.
Are they agreeable to do that? Continue to?
I haven't talked to him, I don't know. I think.
And what was the chemical again that is used?
Duracor, DURACOR.
Is that a non-selective herbicide?
No. They don't have the data sheet on it right now. It's good for like knapweed, and then I can't pronounce them, vetinata grass, mullein, hound's tongue, thistles.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Basic broadleaf.
What's that?
Broadleaf type weeds.
I think so.
Weeds. The ornamental spraying, for instance, on the soccer field. What are you using there?
He told me it's a mix of dandelion killer and fertilizer.
Okay.
They use in Lions Park as well.
How many times will those areas
They do the Lions. They do all the ornaments 3 times a season.
Okay.
The noxious weed spraying annually, and I think that this effort is pretty massive. But I think that if we're to get some of these areas like up there around the observatory where we do have a problem, or the dog park, we might be able to, have an effort like this for a year or two, and then be to the point where we can say, now we can go to every other year or something. And that's kind of where having the county weed coordinator involved, I think he can evaluate that for us, and he's willing to.
We have a pretty good bloom up there at Van Dyke Park of wildflowers. Are they going?
Flowers?
Yeah, wildflowers. Are they going to be?
I don't know. That's something I'll have to talk to the weed coordinator about, her and the sprayer.
Will there be a need for signing just to let people know that it's been sprayed?
I don't think. Okay, for people, I don't think so.
Dogs.
People are pretty safe.
Okay.
I think as long as you're not, they're licking every plant right behind the sprayer, you're probably gonna be all right.
It's on that, it's
A
no.
lot of states, I'm not familiar with Montana, but a lot of states require a public posting for spray.
And if we need to, we can do that. It's, you know, it is difficult because I know a little bit about spraying weeds and having done it in the past in other places like this, but timing is everything.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it at the right time, you waste your money
Yeah.
and you waste your chemical. So trying to incorporate, you know, we might have those signs up there maybe for 10 days. They only spray it for one.
Yeah.
Because we're waiting for that window.
Right.
So that was weed spraying. So if anybody thinks any other area that you think need addressed that are on this map, then let me know. So I mentioned that, BRTA put in a request for some pedestrian crossing signs for Airport Road along the trail system up there. Those signs are ordered. Got 2 foot by 3 foot ones. And then we'll put them up when we get them in. And last thing is Pride Park. That's Friday. First day of presentation to the All Nation Garden Club. I felt like it went really well. We got a lot of constructive input from the garden club. And our goal was to try and get that project rolling here. Like right now, I'm taking my foot off the gas with that one because I want it to be right. We're tweaking the planter dimensions a little bit, getting them more in line with keeping the space kind of like it is now. The ones that Second Nature drew up were quite a bit bigger. So that's something I can do. I will be pulling together sample materials and stuff to make choices. I'll probably make that available to you guys and the garden club and then kind of have a consensus on colors, textures, things like that. This will probably be a fall project because I want to work through all the details, have time to do it right. That's it. Last thing on Pride Park is I discussed at that meeting, the potential grant that I think came up in this meeting or public works about the Main Street grant.
I don't think it came up.
There's a grant opportunity, that's open right now. I think it's the same grant that Roosevelt Center got last year for some work. Positive. But there was talk that a potential project that might compete well for that grant, because it has to be on Main Street, would be addressing the wall / side of the building in Pride Park.
The possible mural.
And there's been people that have heard a lot of opinions about paint and colors and murals.
Sure.
What happened? Yeah. But I think I would like you guys to put together a little group and get some garden club people on it, maybe some other people in the community. And work with me, and because if we're gonna apply for this, I want the more details we can work out, the more is better. And then we can present like the conceptual picture of what we're doing, and I think that'll help the grant competition. And it'll probably also just make the process go smoother. So
What kind of timeline would you like that?
I think the grants due like I'll find out for sure, but I want to say like August or September.
Okay.
Chair,
Sooner the better.
a month ago, Tom Coley expressed interest in being involved in that, just.
Yeah, I think
Like
Tom would
that
be good.
Thank you.
That's it. Any questions?
Were you going to mention something about the tennis court
Yeah.
project?
Look at the picture and I can say that we are I've been working with the Yellowstone Wildlife Sanctuary to move the easement from where the tennis courts want to be to where they actually drive now. And I think as of yesterday, we might have something that they'll say yes to. That's close. But let me see, where did I put that? Here. Wish I could make my screen move up there. So, yeah, here's the newest rendition of the courts. And I think you make it bigger. So.
Like a picture of something.
And this one they added, this is where the sides could be a lot in the middle, and that's the flattest spot. I think it's really important when people look at this drawing, they realize that those lines where my cursors are right now.
Your cursor's hard to see.
Sewer lines going downhill.
Got it.
And this is a retaining wall, so the courts are gonna be sunk down on that hillside. Flat, and then these lines down here are again contour lines going down. And it's gonna kind of sit in a half bowl and a half down the hill.
So Barb back, some of it will be removed from the top part, some of it will be built up on the bottom part. So all four together. So I think maybe, we went to the land use committee, but so for your guys' benefit, we contracted with Great West Engineering for 3 tasks. Do a survey, do another round of design where we're getting almost final, do a cost estimate, which was what I just handed out to you. Mike, you've seen that, right? There's like a fun. And then oversee the bidding, put together a bid package and oversee that process. So we haven't told them go yet on that bid package because we don't yet are all the way cleared through the city council and through you guys. And so we like the design. We're still gonna maybe make a few tweaks on where some of the gates are and those kinds of things. So this isn't the absolute final thing, but we're very, very close. And we need to get the fall pole idea integrated into this. And also what's happening with the landscaping. So the tree service guy in town is working a bid for me to move those trees that were just planted. The issue is that has to happen right away as they break dormancy or before, like right now, or in the fall, in order for a good chance of survival on those trees. So,
Devin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I haven't met you. Anyway.
That tree.
Anyway, so that's our conundrum is we don't yet have the approval. And so we're not knowing what exactly to do, so I'll kind of dump some of that on you guys to think about it and give us some advice on that, but it's possible, if the mayor's still on, it's possible maybe the mayor could just run it by the council and say, look, is it okay if they go ahead and move those trees because they have to do it
We're
now?
not meeting until April 13th.
Okay, well, anyway, so that's the deal, we probably can.
It's more in the fall. Yeah, fall is the best time to actually transplant and slant trees once they've gone dormant.
I would say it's, I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, if you're getting resort tax money,
Oh,
you're not building this summer.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Right, in the fall. So maybe the time would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Devin, your method of moving the trees, are you gonna tree spade them? You're gonna hand dig them? What, how?
I'm gonna bare root transplant them. So basically use a bunch of really high powered compressed air, blast all the dirt away. It doesn't hurt the roots at all. You dig it all out, get all the dirt away from the root system. Cut roots that you have to if they're going too far or something, it's once we get far enough out, you can trim roots pretty easily and pretty carefully. And then we'll move it all. And that will be, at some point, we'll have to discuss with everybody in the park, where we want to put those trees, and how we want to replant those.
in Coal Miners Park or in other parks. I obviously have all of the processes and ways to do this to make it successful, even in Coal Miners Park where there is no soil. We'll blast it out, dig some garbage out of the way and refill the hole.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fair to say there's no soil.
Yeah, it depends on where you are in the park.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, there's and it's still obviously with any tree planting or transplanting, not 100% guaranteed success rate, but yeah, those trees we got for free and they're worth so much money.
Well, I think there's, some challenges there and if you're gonna do it in the manner you talk about bare root, we'd have to wait till after they're out of, when they're in dormancy.
Right.
And the other thing Mike and I have talked about, one of the challenges is going to be, finding locations. I've actually kind of looked around some areas and maybe Mike, maybe you and I can spend a couple hours.
I think that
looking at that.
if we wait till fall, that would work good with that circle up there.
Yeah.
We would have that. And there is a lot, we hauled in several feet of good screen dirt up there.
Yeah, if you're trying to landscape that area, we should definitely throw a couple of those trees in there.
Yeah. And I'm protecting
my goal is to be there by fall. Sure. Water project, sewer project.
And I think maybe we want to, if we can't find enough planting sites, but I think maybe we ought to prioritize what trees we want to move. It. Those spruce trees down below are, pretty high value trees. Yeah. And those are ones I think we definitely would want to make sure that we could try to find a home for if we can. They're not the easiest probably to bare root plant from.
Which ones are you talking
about?
There's 4 spruce trees.
Four blue spruce trees.
Mature ones down below.
Oh, no, they're mature. They're not mature. They were planted with.
7 feet tall.
Yeah.
What about,
6-7 feet tall.
what about,
Oh, those ones. Okay. Yeah.
what about?
The tennis court, do those have to get moved too?
The tennis courts will pretty much fill that. I don't know if I have really.
But overlay.
Yeah, how far south of that ball field does the tennis court start?
Two of the spruce trees are like right in there, so I don't know if spruce trees, all of them have to be moved. If that's the case, that would be great news to that was superseded. But there's 21 trees, 4 spruce and 17. There's other ones.
There's way more.
Well,
those are just the ones that just got planted.
okay, that's what I was counting.
That's kind of just a rough.
The bike, that little triangular area.
It's probably gonna be pushed further to the west, yeah, maybe not. That's probably pretty close to where it's gonna be.
Those spruce trees may be okay.
Well, they're gonna build slope down.
Yeah, it's big
down here. I think that's what it is.
That.
So, yeah, they might be all right, the ones over here.
Like that little triangular piece behind the ball field.
Chris?
Nope, go a little further. I can't see it. Oh, just to the right.
Yeah, you were on it.
Right there, you were on it. The triangular bare spot.
The first time you're on it. There you go, Mike. Yeah,
I just couldn't see your cursor. Is that an area that possibly move some trees?
I could have some trees, I guess. We just, yeah.
It could look better. It's not a very nice looking.
No.
Right. So what about golf course? Some in there?
You do. Yeah, there's a hole there.
Yeah, there is. We'd have to look at the plan.
There's a throwing pad right there.
Yeah.
They throw into the woods.
Well, so we can't answer all the questions about this. I just wanted you guys to know, talking to him, he estimate. But we don't know exactly yet.
Yeah.
So anyway, you wanted us to come back to you about trees, so that's.
Thank you.
Thank you, that's great news.
Yes, that's great news.
So the other things that we're working on, Mike reported on the easement. The wildlife sanctuary DR let me know today, she thought that there was a deal.
Okay.
to be had. And she was concerned about lighting from tennis courts, and we're not gonna have any lighting out there, so they don't have any other issues with us out there. So 2 MOUs are gonna be needed, and I don't know the stat. The mayor was working on one between the city and the high school, or starting conversation on that. And then there'll be one between the tennis board and the city about moving ahead with development, assuming the city buys up on this, so, yeah, we still have to raise a couple $100,000, up to a couple $100,000. So this latest estimate, they keep coming in higher and higher.
Yeah.
But we're there now. We're at that. That doesn't include any donated materials or services, which we think we can get some of that. We don't know how much. I can't put a value on it yet. So that's sort of a lumpy overview of what's going on with that project.
Great.
Well, that's great news, Barb. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Barb. That's awesome.
Thank you, Devin.
One more question, just to clarify, Kelly Reynolds from tennis. When we say fall, what does that mean? Because we do have enough money that excavation could happen. And I don't want to back here and say all of a sudden the trees aren't transplantable and we're digging on the corner of that because we do have half of our money. If it's August, is it October? Because if it's October, we can't. Exactly.
Money in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just wondering what, just to take to the tennis board, what does fall mean?
What does any season mean around here? Is
Yes.
Probably more like late September, October would be the best time.
Did this. Well, the earliest we'll get resort tax is just August.
Yeah.
Middle to end of
Yeah.
August.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and if digging happens by the end of August, which is normally which will probably get done this year.
What about the school lease border stuff? Is there any updates on that? The school lease border stuff?
Well, let's
try to move that.
Dennison, the city attorney. See if I can get this right. Basically, what he said was that one was easy. We didn't necessarily have to change the boundary. We just had to change the language about the use.
Okay.
I think in talking with the mayor and other people, I think we're still gonna try and screw the boundary changes and clean up. We do it the way it probably should have been done in the beginning, rather than have
that weird triangle over the web.
You did it, yeah. Very level.
Yeah.
Understand it all.
Anything else to report, Mike?
Yeah.
So it's just a little after 7. I'd like to move along here if we could. We're about halfway through the agenda. Mark's request to Public Works for upcoming fiscal year budget. We brought this we had this on the agenda for the last meeting. And I was the only one that had a couple of requests regarding the budget to be considered for the budget. So I asked everybody to take a look, and between that meeting, this one, anything that you would like to offer that should be recommended as part of the budget process plan to let us know. Yeah, does anybody have anything?
I've already emailed Mike.
Did you?
I had, yeah.
Did you know?
Dirt.
That's going through.
Dirt, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, spraying was the only thing I had.
Tons of benches, holy gosh.
I know.
And what, going back to the trees, 2 spruce trees at the north, I don't know my directions tonight. Is that the north end of Dog Park would be great, so we could shield us from the highway. So
Okay.
just keep that in.
Good.
Everything else is great. Oh, the water's running too up there. It's like 2 months early. It's usually in May, so it's nice. At the dog park. The ditches, yeah.
Well, at least one ditch is for.
One ditch, but that's all you need right now. So that's happy news.
Mary Dale, do you have anything?
I would like a bench. You take one from the dog park. In Van Dyke Park, and we still have ruts in the path that need to be smoothed out, I guess.
I think Mike.
Had people approach me on that too.
Yeah, Mike is working on that.
And if we can put some of the trees up there, that might be in the area that they sort of
It's a possibility, yeah.
killed. Maybe some trees could go in there.
Okay.
If we need a spot.
All right.
The area
I don't have anything.
ruts, is that right underneath?
Right under the power lines. No, you're not talking about under the power lines.
No.
Just fixing the rut.
Like,
It's just, there's no shade. Yeah, there's really no shade up there in the summer. And so put some trees in on the east side, maybe. That would be nice. But the ruts are in the path where they came in from the street, so.
right.
If you're looking for benches, are you connecting with Lori Elliott, who has plenty of benches? Yes. The dog park benches were repaired by her outfit, but we have a ton, so I'd love for you to have one. I'll talk to Lori, though, I don't wanna,
Okay.
be at her turf, but
All right.
we have like 6, there's 6 of them.
They just keep appearing.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
And Luke, you had dirt, anything else? Okay.
When you mentioned the sprinkler going to that spot down below, someday it'd be awesome to get a sprinkler out to the pump track. Then we could have to book Willie to borrow his truck. I don't know how that would happen. There's definitely water at the soccer fields, and there's old lines in there too from. Yeah, I know. I don't even know what.
In disrepair.
I don't, the sprinkler system for both soccer fields and the baseball fields. There's no pressure tankers going. They pump kicks on, pressure goes out to sprinklers.
Okay.
I don't know how, the one time thing you could do is maybe rig something up and you'd have to do it while the sprinkler system is on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who designed that in the first place.
What's that?
Like who, I don't know who's the person that put that sprinkler system together in the first place that has knowledge of how it's really.
Which one?
The one that's up at the soccer field, which is, I'm guessing, the one we would tap into.
So.
Yeah. I don't think, it does make life a lot easier for everybody. Talk to Beth.
Beth will know.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's still.
This is dream request.
So
you think it'd have to be a different line somewhere else?
You're gonna have to have sprinklers on where you're doing, otherwise you're over the system. And then you could turn your little hose bib on a spray.
Yeah.
And then turn the sprinkler system off. Right now, the sprinkler system runs at night.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
People are using-
I think ideally, honestly, that thing would just kick on at night and would just get it nice and saturated. So in the morning it dries out, and then it just doesn't get that ultra dried out hard, This is like dream requests. We can talk about this later.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's up. Dream budget.
Yeah. And then
we can just put a sprinkler on there and run at the same time.
That'd be
a zone on soccer field.
That'd be perfect. Yeah.
Okay. We'll solve later.
Pump tracks matter, and
the other. And Mike, and I'll just repeat them from last time, was the, re-budgeting or making sure that the comprehensive update of the Parks and Recreation Plan is, and it looks like it is budgeted currently, so if we could carry that over into the next year. And I would still like to see some kind of budget for at least a preliminary design and plan for Rocky Ford Park.
Yeah.
Rocky Fork Park.
I think if we get finished with that, we probably won't do that same project there until August at the earliest.
That's fine.
And then after that, we'll kind of get our written rules from DCS on what we can and cannot do there.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Until we get to that point, it doesn't make any sense to start putting plans.
No, I agree. If that is something that's gonna happen during this next fiscal year, we should have some money budgeted for it. All right, Now we're gonna move on to B City USA. Rod, can you give us a quick,
Very quick update. Mary Dell and I met on BC project. Got committee started. We've got one person from the Garden Club committed.
Good.
I have talked to her to make sure she's totally on board. Question for Mike. Is there any signs for B City?
I haven't seen any from Jimmy from the past that they.
Yeah.
If we did have, I know where they might, we got a big stack of street signs and stuff, and the guys always said put signs all there. I can look through there and see, but
It might be with the Arbor Day signs.
I think we only have one
Yeah.
and it's round and quite colorful. I did not read.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about where we would like to have that put up. Yes.
so I guess would be, first of all, find out if you have signs, and then when you do, if you find out you do, work with Mike as far as the location.
Yeah. Awesome. I know that they used to be floating around upstairs.
B City, say probably have signs, they'll send us.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
And then we have a report that's due with the B City people. It's gonna fall back on us to do. Lonnie sent me what was done previously, but she needs her input on it. So we'll have to get that done in April for Lonnie to submit.
Okay,
So that's what we're working.
so if you want that on the April agenda, or?
Yes.
Okay. Right, anything else? Okay, the next item is Earth Day, Arbor Day Volunteer Appreciation Event. Sarah is kind of heading that up, and I think Sarah is not with us, so we'll move on. Seth, did you have a comment?
There's
No, I think just keeps coming up, huh? So we'll table that, I guess, till the next meeting. Park Ambassador reporting. Does anybody have anything to report from their?
Nothing to add to what I just said,
yeah,
so.
me either.
Okay. All right, future agenda items. So we're looking at B City USA, and we're looking at
The trail.
the trail. And anything else for the future agenda items?
Our field trip.
Field
Field
trip,
next meeting.
that'll be a separate. Yeah,
So getting sort of.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it'd be nice if we could make a vote next meeting and be our goal.
So
Yeah. So what I'll do
Good
is
or bad, just give them.
I'll send a little survey out to all the board members. As to your availability for
I would love
an extra
to
meeting.
do this.
Yeah,
Change it around.
so I'll send that out to you tomorrow, probably. Let's get this going. All right,
Perfect.
any other citizens' comments before we adjourn? Citizens' comments
Oh, thank you.
from the room here?
Thank you for coming.
We are adjourned. Yeah, it's good. We'll take the meeting very.
He likes me, he likes, learn about that, he likes being shiny ends.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta be patient.
I gotta remember how to look at it again.
That's nice. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah. This is it. Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, thanks.
You bet. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Molly. Appreciate it.
How's the shoulder,
Yeah.
Steve?
You said some people have been talking to you about.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. I don't know who, mine's because they're like, you're on the first year. They're terrible runs of a Van Dyke County.
Okay.
They're actually better than they were.
Oh, they are?
Mike, remember to end the recording and also the meeting.
Make it red.
Good.